Welcome back, people. What is up? We are here for another edition of The Breakdown here on the Loudmouth MMA Podcast Network. That familiar voice you hear is me, Max Friedman, Trademark MMA, and I am joined, as always, by my man across the pond over in Maastricht, Netherlands, Marcel Dorf. Big Marcel, MMA DNA co-owner. What is up, my man?
What's up, man? Good to be back. Break down some fights, right? We got 7 debuts on this card, so looking forward on the flyweight title, man. Gotta get interesting.
Apologies to our good friend Sean Bitter. We were chatting before the call. We haven't submitted our picks or breakdowns for the debuting fighters on this card to him, but kudos to him every week, gathering those from different MMA minds out there and media members and whatnot, and consolidating that into one article on Cage Side Press every week. So shout out to him for that. That's always a fun read and really cool to see how people pick out those debuting fighters.
If you want to see the 3 guys from the Loudmouth MMA podcast on it, we are the 3 guys on the downside of the table with picks.
Yeah, and one of our fearless leaders, Keith Schillen, likes to talk about how he's so sharp at picking all the fights, and then he's towards the bottom at all these debuting fighters right now. But speaking of the Loudmouth MMA Podcast Network, you can get this show and all of our other shows wherever you get your podcasts, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, SoundCloud. Be sure to check it out. Click subscribe. Leave us a rating if you like what we're doing. So much great content on the show. We got Between the Links. That is hosted by Mike Heck, and we got Davidson Baker, Craig Allen, and Keith Schillen. Always a fun listen. Had Cole Shelton on this week. Always good talking to Cole. Off the Cuff, also hosted by Mike Heck. We got Drake Riggs, Kyle Steele, and Craig Allen on that one. I believe it was just Mike and Drake this week. The MMA Takeover, All Angles, Early Stoppage. Shout out to our boy John Franklin for that show. MMA Yesterday, the Not Safe for Work MMA show with Fred Kirby and Kyle Steele. Always a fun listen there. Anywhere you go, get your podcast, the Loudmouth MMA Podcast Network. You can get all of our great content, and be sure to check that out. Click subscribe, follow along. Big Marcel, what's up with you this week? Anything exciting other than we were chatting, you're watching the first 2 episodes of Better Call Saul?
Nothing too exciting, actually, man. Just another week, just another work week. There was Carnival over here in Maastricht, but I'm not big on Carnival. So
no, did you go?
Man. It's not like South American Carnival. So you have to see it like Carnival, where people are dressed like clowns or whatever. Just kind of weird, man. I know it's a tradition over here, but never liked it. I probably never will. But there are people who love it, and they should do it. On Tuesday, that was the last day, I think. And I just had to work on Tuesday, so I didn't care. So,
before we get into it, I want to quickly ask you: have you seen the previews for that new Mark Wahlberg movie, where he's in prison?
So the one with Cowboy Cerrone, or
okay, that's where I was going at, because I was watching the trailer and then boom, Cowboy Cerrone pops up, but he has a real big beard. So I was like, I think that's Cowboy, but I can't quite tell. Spencer Confidential.
Soon on Netflix, but
yeah,
I haven't seen it.
It's
yet.
Coming out this month.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I was getting at, because I was like, I thought I saw Cowboy. You know what? Quick funny story. I was watching Den of Thieves, 50 Cent with my fiance like a few months ago.
As well.
Yeah, so we're watching the movie, and then they pull over this truck, and Max Holloway's the truck driver, and he gets out and go, "Oh shit, Max Holloway!" And she's like, "All right, you need to settle down."
Yeah, true. I saw that as well.
I had no idea he was in the movie, so I got pumped up when I saw him in there. All right, let's get down to business. Last week, Big Marcel, UFC Auckland. How about that Daniel Hooker-Paul Felder fight? I mean, talk about an instant classic. I know we're only 57 days into 2020, but that is a leading candidate for fight of the year, if you ask me. On the night, favorites went 8-4. What?
One quick thing.
Yeah.
Wasn't I saw a cameo of Nick Diaz. Was it in Ballers?
Was Nick Diaz in Ballers? Oh, someone was in Ballers. Yves Edwards was in Ballers.
Okay, but I think Nick Diaz was as well. He was on the bar, I think.
He might have been. Now that you mention it, I think he was.
Yeah, okay.
But
Sorry
Ethan
for
Edwards
interrupting
was
you.
training Ricky Jarrett, who's Denzel Washington's son, John David
Son, yeah.
Washington. Yeah, in that one, that he had a nice appearance there. What do you think of UFC Auckland? Obviously, the Hooker Felder fight lived up to expectations, but overall thoughts?
Was okay, man. It was pretty much the fights went pretty much as expected. I think Karolina Kowalkiewicz against Yan Xiaonan. I think the corner should have thrown a towel between rounds. I said it after the first round, and after I saw her injury 2 days after the fight, I was pretty sure I was right. The Crute, pretty big fight for Jimmy Crute. He subbed Oleg Seychuk. I didn't saw that one coming, but for also good stoppage. Which one do I forget? Jalen Turner, good fight against Koulibaly. Good stoppage. Kai Kara France picking up another one. And what about, Brett Riddell against Magomed Mustafayev? That fight,
Razor close.
yeah, but I absolutely didn't expect that to be competitive, to be honest. And Mustafayev, he could kind of disappoint me there, I think. And Riddell actually impressed, although many people had it for Mustafayev. I think it was a toss-up. It was either Riddell with his striking or Mustafayev with his takedowns and wrestling, but I don't think he really advanced in those positions.
He really
And
didn't.
and on the other hand, Subaira Tuhugov kind of demolished Aguilar, man, in a way I didn't saw it or didn't see that one happen like that. So yeah.
Three fights, 3 wins for City Kickboxing. They continue their dominance across the UFC.
Who you got scored, Hooker or Felder?
I had a 2-2 going into the 5th, and the first, I'd say like 2 minutes, I leaned Felder, but that late takedown, I think it's hard not to give it to Hooker after getting that late takedown, and not only getting that takedown, but keeping that top position too. I thought that sealed the deal for the Hangman.
Okay.
But on the night, another win for you, Big Marcel. 5 events, and you've won or tied in all 5 of them. 8-4. I went 7-5, so I'm back in the positive now. I'm sitting at 31-29. You're at 36-24. You have 3 bonuses. You got the fight of the night correct last time. I got 1 bonus only on the year. We both picked up underdog points, though. You with Priscilla Cachoeira, great call. That is your 4th underdog in 5 events. Great job. My 3rd underdog in 5 events was Zuba Tukugov. Maki Pitola was out, so my new pick was Tukugov. And then we both hit on our locks. I took Jake Matthews, so I'm at 4 of 5 there. You were at 3 of 5 with Kai Kara France getting it done. We look ahead. Event number 6 of the year, UFC Fight Night 167 comes up this Saturday, February 29th. It's a leap year, so we got a February 29th at the Chartway Arena in Norfolk, Virginia. That's how the locals say it, Big Marcel, Norfolk, not Norfolk. But most of the U.S. says Norfolk, too. So
Norfolk. Okay.
That's what the locals say. Bout order courtesy of our good friend MMA Forum God on Twitter. As always, be sure to check out all his great content. Our Nico Price giving our boy MMA Forum God some love on Twitter the other day, using his charts for his picks.
Nice.
But we kick things off at welterweight. Really fun fight. Could be fireworks early. Ismail Nardiev taking on Sean Brady. Nardiev is the -130 favorite. Sean Brady, the slight +110 underdog. This is a very interesting fight, and this was broken by our good friend James Lynch over at The Score. Brady is undefeated. He's 11-0. He's formerly the CFFC welterweight champion. Won his UFC debut. Decision win over Court McGee in a very hard-fought fight. Nardiev, meanwhile, 2-1 in the UFC. He has wins over Sir Bahadurzada and Michel Prazeres, but fell to Chance Rencounter. And as always, I always forget, but who is your co-pilot over there at MMA DNA that picked that fight right in every fight on that card?
Michael Duarte.
Yeah, Michael Duarte, great job. Still, I don't think I've ever heard of anyone picking in that against Nardiev in that fight after his UFC debut. Still only 23 and has a great record at 19-3. Big Marcel, welterweights in action. What's going to happen?
Yeah, man, Nardiev, 2-1 in the UFC, like you say, and pretty dominant win over CR last time out. Sean Brady, Guy with a lot of hype, came in the UFC undefeated, former CFFC champion. Hard fight, dude, to pick here. I think where you got the Nordiev who prove is a very big talent, but on the other hand, Sean Brady is a talent as well, man. I mean, this is such a hard fight to pick. My first feeling was Nordiev, but my gut feeling is that Sean Brady gets it done by wrestling. So taking Sean Brady by decision.
That's exactly what I've written down. My initial reaction was Nardiev, but he struggled with wrestling, and I think Brady takes over late in the fight and gets it done with wrestling. So I'm taking Brady. All right. Second fight up is at featherweight. Some sneaky fight of the night potential here. Elon Cruz taking on Spike Carlisle. Cruz is the minus 175 favorite. The Alpha Ginger Spike Carlisle is plus 155. He is 8-1. He is on a 4-fight win streak, and he replaces Stephen Ocho Peterson in this one. 26 years old. He's been mostly competing at lightweight, though. So keep those eyes on the scale, considering this is a short notice fight for him at featherweight. Carlisle was one of those many to try out for the Ultimate Fighter undefeated season. He actually made it to the final days alongside some names you might know. Patrick Mix of Bellator, Keone Diggs has competed in Bellator out of the MMA lab, a few others. A really loaded talent pool in those tough tryouts. And then a lot of guys were sent home not knowing their fate. But then our good friend Sean Bitter ended up breaking the cast via Twitter, and that's how the guys that weren't selected found out. So I always thought that was interesting. Cruz, meanwhile, 30 years old, 8-2, and he has won 4 straight. Got a UFC deal with a highlight reel KO win over Steve Wynn on Dana White's Contender Series, a flying knee there. Also has a submission over fellow debutant Steve Garcia in that stretch. So both those guys will be competing on this card. Big Marcel, Cruz and Spike Carlisle. What do you say?
Yeah, I was Elon Cruz. I'm looking forward to his debut, man. He had that crazy flying knee KO on the Contender Series, right? And now fighting Spike Carlisle. Gotta say, I haven't seen a lot of Spike Carlisle yet. I have seen his fight against Matthew Calcohan, or what's the name again? That spinning back fist knockout in LFA. Yeah, I've seen that one. He looked good in that one, but I don't know too much about Spike Carlisle. I know he trains with Mark Munoz, but yeah, what can I say? This is for me a toss-up. Both debutants in this fight. My gut feeling says Elon Cruz gets it done via TKO third round or second round, going with a second round TKO for Elon Cruz.
Yeah, I got to favor the striking in Cruz. I know Carlisle's tough and has always showed a good gas tank, but I think Cruz will get enough, do enough on the feet to get down and get a decision win here in this one. All right, headlining the early prelims, we're at featherweight, sticking around here. Jordan Griffin taking on downtown TJ Brown. Griffin, the slight favorite, I should say, at minus 135. TJ Brown is plus 115. Big Marcel, why don't you kick things off for us here at featherweight?
Yeah, TJ Brown, you got that contract on the Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series in last year, actually. I think that was the last week where we got the contract. Where 3 guys who got a contract that week, and many people were actually surprised he got that contract, man. He did well, don't get me wrong, but he's already 29, you know, and the UFC is always like, yeah, you're too old, or yeah, you're too young, but we let you we let you enter this show, and when you have a great performance, we still don't sign you because you're too young or too old. Don't let people enter a show if you don't want to sign them. But TJ got signed. Good fight against Dylan Lockhart, which he won in the third round. He's taking on Jordan Griffin. Griffin hasn't won in the UFC yet. 2 losses against Dan Ige and Chess Kelly, but was competitive in both of those losses, in my opinion. Also from the Contender Series a year earlier. I got to favor Jordan Griffin here, man, on experience and being, I think, just a little bit the better fighter. I'm taking him via unanimous decision.
Yeah, Griffin lives and trains in Milwaukee at Rufus Sport. Might be on the hot seat here, as you mentioned, 0-2 in the UFC. TJ Brown, 14-6, 4-fight win streak, all finishes in that win streak, and he has won 13 of 14 via finish. Lives and trains in Arkansas with Bryce Mitchell. I'm going to take Brown here. I think he finds a way to get it done and gets a late finish. I'll say a third-round submission via downtown TJ Brown. All right, we move along to the second portion of prelims, and another newcomer takes stage in this one. We got Luis Pena, Violent Bob Ross, taking on Steve Garcia Jr. Violent Bob Ross, Luis Pena is a minus 330 favorite. Garcia Jr. is plus 270 as an underdog. So Mean Machine Steve Garcia, he comes in on under a week's notice to replace Alex Munoz here. He's 11-3, 27, trains at Jackson Wink. He's on a 4-fight win streak. He's competed mostly at 135 and 145 in his career. This fight is at 155 against a very big lightweight in Pena. He's been offered some spots in the UFC before, but had to turn them down. There was one, he was on his honeymoon and was not going to be able to get back in time. Another one, I believe he was injured. But interesting, I heard that in an interview he had with John Hionko, our friend JHK MMA. People at Jackson Wink, though, say Garcia is one of the most talented fighters in the gym. So I'm kind of excited to see how he performs on this big stage. We also saw him in the Dana White's Contender Series in 2019. He missed weight, but did get a finish of Desmond Torres in that fight. Pena, meanwhile, 7-2 as a pro, 3-2 in the UFC, coming off a split loss to Matt Frivola in October. Has a great frame and an exciting style. People love the Violent Bob Ross persona. Big Marcel Pena, Steve Garcia Jr. How do you see this one playing out?
Yeah, interesting fight, I think. Luis Pena, I know he's popular, but I'm not sold on him at all, to be honest. I think he's a good fighter. He is solid, but I think his, how do you say that? His popularity has a little bit more to do with the Violent Bob Ross thing than with actual fighting, in my opinion. But he's a good fighter, solid, nothing against him. He's taking on Steve Garcia Jr., which has done pretty well in the regional circuit in the U.S. I think. Also had a nice run in Bellator in his early stages of his career. 4-fight win streak, like you say. He defeated Mariscal in the LFA, which was a big win for him. He was supposed to fight Justin Gonzalez for the LFA belt.
Did he miss weight in that fight too? Or was it just the Contender Series fight he missed weight?
I think he missed weight in that fight too, yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, man, I don't expect him to miss weight this time, 155. So, but you never know, right?
Hey, look, Manny Bermudez missed it in that fight against Bruce Boyington a few weeks back.
Yeah. I'm favoring Steve Garcia, dude. Although it's on short notice, I'm favoring him. I think he gets it done via TKO and late in the third round.
Wow. Big pick for Big Marcel. Going with Garcia, the newcomer. I'm going to take Violent Bob Ross, Luis Pena via unanimous decision. Think he does enough, stays on the outside to get it done.
Safe pick.
Heavyweights on deck, and I know Big Marcel is pumped about this fight. Marcin Tybura taking on Sergey Spivak. Spivak is a minus 115 betting favorite. Marcin Tybura slightly as an underdog at minus 105, still in even money there. Tybura needs a win badly. He's been finished in back-to-back fights and been finished in 4 or 5 overall. His lone win in that stretch was a lackluster win over Stefan Struve. Not even close. Polar Bear, Spivak, 24 years old, 10-1, coming off a really big win over Tai Tuivasa. He has all finishes in the 10 pro wins. He's from Moldova. I believe he trains with Alexander Romanov, another recent UFC signee who will be competing in May, I believe, in Oklahoma City against Rafael Pessoa, or is he down in Brazil? I can't remember.
Yeah,
one of those two.
City.
Big Marcel, Tybura, and Spivak, Try to refrain from all the excitement you have for this fight, but go ahead and let us know how you see this one going.
Yeah, man, this fight has all the ingredients to take a leak. I mean, I'm sorry, Marcin Tybura, like you said, four losses in 5 fights, only win against Stefan Struve. I will pronounce it one time correctly, especially for you in Dutch, Stefan Struve.
Stefan Struve.
Yeah, perfect. He's fighting Sergey Spivak, who who did well in this last fight against Tai Tuivasa. I think he was a big underdog in that fight, but he won. He had an absolute awful debut against Walt Harris, as we all can remember, where we got absolutely destroyed within a minute. But man, Marcin Tybura is like Karolina Kowalkiewicz in heavyweight. They both don't have it for some reason. They I don't know what's up with them. But I think Spivak knocks him out in the first round. That's what I expect, honestly. I think Spivak knocks him out. And let's hope there will be a
That's
finish.
a really sharp comparison. Karolina Kowalkiewicz at one point was a top 5 talent and now just doesn't seem to be doing things right. I can't in my right mind pick Marcin Tybura to win a fight in 2020. I rarely bet on fights, Big Marcel, but last time out against Augusto Sakai was at minus 110. They were it was a pick 'em fight. I put the house on Sakai, and that was an easy win. Spivak via TKO, I'll say early second round. All right. We got a fight at middleweight coming up next. Brendan Allen and Tom Breeze. Breeze, the minus 135 favorite. Brendan Allen is the plus 115 underdog. Now, on paper, this is a great fight, but don't get too comfortable with a Tom Breeze booking because he's had 3 separate bouts canceled at the 11th hour due to various mental health issues. So if you wake up on Saturday or sometimes Saturday in the early evening hours and you get that flash across that fight is off, do not be surprised because that's happened multiple times before. So I'll believe it when I see these fighters in the octagon. But nonetheless, Breeze is a great talent. He's 11-1 as a pro. Lone loss in the UFC is to Sean Strickland. Where has Sean Strickland been, by the way? When are we going to see him fight again? Any ideas, Big Marcel?
Oh, that was a question. I have no idea, man.
Oh, okay. I guess it seemed like a rhetorical question, but it probably wasn't. Last appearance was a TKO win over Dan Kelly in May of 2018 for Breeze. He has 3 round 1 finishes and 4 UFC wins. He had 2 grappling bouts in 2019, won both of those. Allen, meanwhile, tons of momentum on his side. He parlayed that LFA middleweight championship into a Dana White Contender Series first-round finish of Aaron Jeffrey in the UFC deal. 13-3 as a pro, 5-fight win streak, only 24 years old, but he seems a lot older, doesn't he? He won his UFC debut. He submitted Kevin Holland in October. A very impressive win for the Rufus Sport product. Big Marcel, Breeze, and Allen. If this fight happens, who do you see coming out on top?
Yeah, I'm all in on Allen, man. I think he has a nice win streak at this moment. He looks good in the octagon. I mean, his Contender Series fight was impressive against Aaron Jeffrey. He won against Kevin Holland, which I called. I called that fight. I knew it was going to happen. I remember.
You did.
Yeah, another one of the few right calls I made last year. Against Tom Breeze. Yeah, Tom Breeze. I don't like Tom Breeze. How do you say that? He's not fighting frequently, and that's a huge thing, I think. Inactivity, exactly. I mean, he's a big talent. He has always been a huge talent. The guy from England. I think does he still train in Canada?
Yeah, TriStar, I believe so.
Yeah. But, I don't like his inactivity, to be honest, man. His last win was against Dan Kelly. That was in 2018. And a horrible fight against Sean Strickland. He lost that one. That was from a great UFC 199 card, that was the most horrible fight on that evening. I can remember that correctly because I watched it somewhere else and not at home. Brendan Allen for me, man. I think Brendan Allen probably stops him, man. I think I think he subs him in the second round.
How?
He submits him in the second round. Oh, do you want to know how? Rear naked choke.
No,
man.
you said. I thought you said he stops him in the second.
I say he subs. He subs.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
I really hope this fight actually happens. I just have this gut feeling that we're going to get that cancellation again. You know, like we got with Olawale Bamboshe, like we got with Ian Heinisch, but hopefully not. Allen via decision for me. I think he's riding too much momentum, and the inactivity from Breeze will not fare well. This should be a fun fight at bantamweight coming up next. Kyler Phillips, the Matrix, taking on Gabriel Silva. Silva's the minus 125 favorite. Phillips plus 105 in his UFC debut. Gabito, Gabriel Silva is 25 and he's 7-1. He lost a decision to Ray Borg in his UFC debut after being signed off the Dana White's Looking for a Fight television show. Kyler Phillips is looking for a fight appearance away from the trifecta. We first saw him get a win on the Dana White Contender Series in 2017. He then appeared on the Ultimate Fighter Undefeated Series, where he lost his first bout to Brad Katona. Grabbed a highlight reel win in LFA and got signed as a short notice replacement to fight Borg, but had to withdraw and was replaced by Casey Kenny in that one. 6-1 as a pro. He trains at the MMA Lab. Big Marcel, Gabriel Silva, and Kyler Phillips at bantamweight. What do you see?
Yeah, so I saw a recent picture of Kyler Phillips, and he's giving Elias Theodorou a run for best hair in MMA right now.
He has long hair now?
Yeah,
because he was bald on the Ultimate Fighter.
He wasn't bald, but
he had his head shaved.
Yeah, you sure? I don't know, but he had an epic beard, and he shaved that. So yeah, too bad. Kyler Phillips, good, yeah, solid guy. He was actually, I thought, one of the favorites to win the Ultimate Fighter, but
he was the first pick.
He was first pick, and he lost to Brad Katona, I think, in the very first fight. Was that right?
Yeah, and Katona was the fourth pick.
Yeah, Katona made it. He actually won the Ultimate Fighter, but he's cut now from the UFC. Another weird decision by the UFC, by the way. Gabriel Silva, he is the brother of Eric Silva. Former UFC fighter, current Bellator roster. He got signed off that win against Jake Heffernan on Dana White Looking for a Fight. That was elevated 63. He looked very good in that one. I'm also high on Jake Heffernan, man. I think he's a solid fighter as well. He's from
he's lost two now, hasn't he?
Yeah, he did, but I still think he's a solid fighter, what I saw from him. But he lost 2 in a row, you're right. Overall, I think Gabriel Silva has a more complete game than Kyler Phillips, taking him via unanimous decision in this one.
Yeah, you know what? I was really impressed with Silva's ability to kind of hang tough with Ray Borg and really answer back. I think it's going to be a fun fight. I like Silva to get back on track here with a unanimous decision as well. All right, we go to the main card, and we start things off at featherweight. Grant Dawson taking on Derek Minner. Dawson is the minus 420 favorite. Derek Minner, the plus 335 underdog. Originally set, Grant Dawson was supposed to fight Chaz Skelly at UFC 246. That fight was scratched during fight week. Unclear to why. Many are high on Dawson's potential. Then this fight with Skelly rebooked here, and Derek Minner is now replacing Chaz Skelly, who had to withdraw due to injury. Dawson is 14-1. He trains out of Glory MMA and Fitness in Kansas City. He's got 5 straight wins, 2-0 in the UFC. Submitted Ultimate Fighter winner Mike Trezano last time out. Props to Derek Minner for taking this fight. At least 2 current UFC featherweights turned this fight down for various reasons. But he is 24-10 as a pro. He kind of has that kill or be killed type of fighter and fighting record. Only 3 of his 34 pro fights have reached the final bell. Comes in off back-to-back first-round submission wins after a war on Dana White's Contender Series with Herbert Burns last summer. Big Marcel, Dawson is a huge favorite, very high on many radars here. Does he get it done, or do we see an upset?
Yeah, he gets it done. I mean, he convinced me after the Mike Trezano fight. I think he did very well in that one. He submitted Trezano, who was undefeated before that one. I picked Trezano to win that one. And Dawson did great. He did great in the UFC so far. I mean, very impressive. Derek Minner, he lost to Herbert Burns in the Contender Series. Then he defeated Terrence McKinney, who also was in the Contender Series. And McKinney lost to Woodson, I think, right?
Yeah, John Woodson.
Yeah.
And then his first fight after that was against Derek Minner, and Derek Minner, I think, finished him early.
Yeah, triangle choke. Grant Dawson, man. I mean, short notice fights for Derek Minner. Doesn't do him any favorites here, I think. And I think Grant Dawson is just a little bit too good. And I'm taking Grant Dawson via submission in the first round.
Yeah, Dawson seems like the real deal. Derek Minner is one of those guys who's going to come to fight. No one's going to tell. He's not going to act like he's supposed to lose. He's going to come in there guns blazing, but I think Dawson is a little too cerebral, finds a way to get it done. Submission, second round for Mr. Grant Dawson as well. All right, we go to the women's side featherweight division. Megan Anderson taking on Norma Dumont. Anderson is the minus 220 favorite. Dumont is the plus 180 betting underdog. Anderson is 9-4 as a pro. She is from Queensland, Australia, but trains at the same gym as Grant Dawson, Glory MMA and Fitness in Kansas City. 2-2 in the UFC. She's beat Sarah Farron and Kat Zingano, but has losses to Holly Holm and Felicia Spencer. 8 of 9 of those wins are finishes. Dumont, this is her UFC debut. She is a 4-0 Brazilian, age 29. 3 of 4 fights have been at bantamweight. So I guess it's kind of interesting to see her up at featherweight for this one. She has not competed since an August 28 decision win over Mariana Moraes. Big Marcel, Anderson against Dumont. I know you're not quite as pumped about this one, but what do you think happens?
Yeah, Megan Anderson is going to win this fight. I think Norma Dumont is. I don't think. How do you say this? It's like you say, man. She normally fights at bantamweight. Now fights at featherweight. Also, she's 4-0, but she hasn't fought the opponents that Megan Anderson fought. And I'm not even that high on Megan Anderson, but I think she's still better than Norma Dumont. So I'm picking Megan Anderson to get a win here, taking her by a second round submission.
Second round submission. I got Anderson by a second round TKO. I think she gets on top and just lands strikes until the referee pulls her off. All right, a really fun fight at 205 pounds up next. How the heck is Magomed Ankalaev not ranked? That is beyond me. Magomed Ankalaev is a minus 225 favorite against Moldova's own Iwan Kuchelaba at plus 185 on the betting line. Big Marcel, I know you're high on both these guys, so why don't you kick things off?
It's pretty much the best fight on the card, man. Iwan Kuchelaba, Moldovan guy, pretty crazy dude, always at weigh-ins. Kind of a weird attitude, but he comes to fight. He defeated Khalil Roundtree with some vicious elbows in the first round.
That was very impressive.
Yeah. Before that, lost to Glover Teixeira in a fight where he was winning, but he ran out of gas. Like, it happened to him often when he doesn't get it done in the first round. Magomed Ankalaev, one of the biggest talents, in my opinion, in the light heavyweight division. 3-0 in the UFC, should be 4-0 in the UFC. Pretty much defeat or dominated all fights he fought for except the last 5 seconds against Paul Craig, and he got submitted by a triangle.
He got submitted by who? Who is that, Big Marcel?
Paul Craig. So, yeah. Didn't you hear, by the way, we say that John Gooden did the commentary last weekend, right?
Yeah.
And there was a referee which name was Craig, and he was like, referee Craig. That made me think of that. So, yeah, man. If the Ankalaev just has to watch out in the first round, and after that, this fight will be his. And I'm taking Ankalaev via third round TKO. Yeah.
Man, Ankalaev has been ultra impressive, and that last knockout of Dolce Lungiambola was just flawless. 3 straight wins, now 12-1 overall. He should be in the rankings at 205. I'm not really sure why. Got to be careful, before you know it, this guy's going to hot rod out of there and sign with another promotion. So, make sure you hold on to this guy because he's talented. Moldova's Kuchelaba. Yeah, you mentioned it. The kill or be killed kind of thing does tend to run out of gas. We saw that against Glover Teixeira and Jared Cannonier. He's won 3 of 4. 14 of those 15 wins are finishes. I think Ankalaev avoids those big early power shots and peppers Kuchelaba before landing something big, maybe another front kick, maybe a head kick, but give me Ankalaev submission in the second round. And how did you say he gets it done, Big Marcel?
I said TKO in the third round.
Third. Got it. Co-main event time. Back to the featherweight division on the women's side, where Felicia Spencer is a minus 800 favorite against Zara Farron dos Santos, who is a plus 550 betting underdog. Farron, this is her second UFC appearance. She is 6-3 from France. Lost her debut to Megan Anderson. Spencer is 7-1. She's 29 from Canada, 1-1 in the UFC. Defeated Megan Anderson, but lost a gritty effort against Chris Cyborg. I got to go Spencer all day in this one. I think she lands a takedown and gets a submission late in round 1. Big Marcel, what do you see?
Felicia Spencer, first round submission. Nothing more to say about that. It's weird matchmaking, man. You got to give Sarah Fairn Felicia Spencer after Felicia Spencer dominated Megan Anderson and Sarah Fairn lost to Megan Anderson.
Dominantly lost to Megan Anderson.
Absolutely doesn't make sense.
All right. Well, for that co-main, at least we have a really fun title fight on deck in the flyweight division. Henry Cejudo officially relinquishes the UFC flyweight title, and now we have a title fight to determine the UFC flyweight champion. The number 1 ranked Joseph Benavidez is the -150 betting favorite against the number 3 ranked Davison Figueiredo, who is the +130 betting underdog. 5 rounds in the UFC's flyweight division. Whether Cejudo was stripped or vacated, he's no longer the champ. So now we got 5 rounds of absolute possible mayhem here. Benavidez, what can be said about him? I mean, he's the longtime vet of the sport, all the way back to the WEC days. He's been in the UFC for 9 years. He's 15-3 in the UFC. Think about that. 15-3. 2 losses to Mighty Mouse, 1 to Sergio Pettis. That's it. Figueiredo is just fireworks. Every time he is in there, he is an exciting fighter to watch. 17-1 as a pro, 6-1 in the UFC. That only lost to Jussier Formiga, but after that loss, he's answered back with 2 dominant wins. Big Marcel, this is a tough fight to pick, man. I think the betting line should be a little bit closer than it is. What do you see?
Yeah, man. Benavidez finally gets another crack at the title. Against Figueiredo, who's been very impressive so far. Only lost to Jussier Formiga. Actually should have lost to against Jared Brooks as well. But very impressive so far in the UFC. Benavidez, like you said, 2 losses to Mighty Mouse, which was 1 a split decision, and 1 loss to Sergio Pettis in his last 10 fights or something, and that was also a split decision, which was controversial in my opinion. I know you don't agree with me.
I don't agree.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm just kidding, dude. I care, but not right now. So, yeah, Benavidez very impressive against Formiga. He stopped him twice, you know. He also won against Henry Cejudo, which was a split decision, what was kind of controversial, I think. Figueiredo, on the other hand, looked solid in many of his fights, man. But I think Benavidez is a little bit too high for him at this moment. And I think Benavidez finally gets it done. He didn't get to be the George Washington of the flyweight division, like he said before, when that was the inaugural title. He didn't get that, but yeah, he said that. So it's not my words. But he will be the 3rd flyweight champion, I think, of the UFC. And seeing getting this one done by I think he gets it done by a submission in the 2nd round.
So if this fight goes in the later rounds, I favor Benavidez, but I actually am going to take Figueiredo. I think he's going to find a big bomb and land a home and get a finish here. So Davison Figueiredo, TKO in the 3rd round for me. You got Benavidez, 2nd round submission. All right, we got to hand out bonuses, and you are up first for Fight of the Night this week.
Fight of the night. Let's go with Iwan Kutelaba against Magomed Ankalaev.
All right. Oh, man. I'm tempted to go Elon Cruz and Spike Carlisle, but you know what? Fuck it. I am. Elon Cruz, Spike Carlisle is my under-the-radar fight of the night.
Max hit the F word.
Sorry about that. My apologies.
I love it.
All right. Performance of the night bonuses are going out to Figueiredo and Spencer for my official 2. And then my following 2, let's go Magomed Ankalaev and Grant Dawson. Hand out some $50,000 performance of the night bonus winners and then 2 backup winners.
So Dana White probably gonna cry. You have to give 1 to a flyweight, but I'm taking Benavidez. Felicia Spencer. 3rd one, taking Grant Dawson. 4th one, Megan Anderson.
All right. Underdog of the night. Big Marcel, your options are Steve Garcia Jr., Sean Brady, and that might be it. That's it.
Let's go with Sean Brady. Just like last week, we're taking the first fight on the card.
Oh, Brendan Allen, too. I'm sorry.
Yeah, taking Sean Brady.
You're taking Brady?
Yeah.
All right. Give me tough. Shoot, this is tough. I'll go Brendan Allen. It's torn between him and Figueiredo. All right, lock of the night. Hard to take the easy way out, but I think I got to go Felicia Spencer in this one. Who's your lock of the night, Big Marcel? Feel free to pick the same. I mean, she's the biggest favorite on the card.
Pretty obvious, right?
Yeah. All right, let's recap these picks. Both are taking Sean Brady over Ishmael Nardiev. Both have Elon Cruz over Spike Carlisle. I got TJ Brown. Big Marcel's got Jordan Griffin. I got Luis Pena. He's got Steve Garcia Jr. Both got Sergey Spivak over Marcin Tybura. Both have Brendan Allen over Tom Breeze. Both have Gabriel Silva over Kyler Phillips. Both have Grant Dawson over Derek Minner. Both have Megan Anderson over Norma Dumont. Both have Magomed Ankalaev over Iwan Kutelaba. Both have Felicia Spencer over Zara Farron. And in the main event of the evening, Big Marcel has Joseph Benavidez finally capturing UFC flyweight gold. Meanwhile, I think it's going to take more of the Uriah Faber route and not capture UFC gold. I got Davison Figueiredo getting it done. The fight of the night for me is a under-the-radar pick between Elon Cruz and Spike Carlisle. Big Marcel's got Iwan Kutelaba and Magomed Ankalaev. Performance bonus winners for me, Davison Figueiredo, Felicia Spencer. For him, Benavidez and Spencer. The backups for me, Ankalaev and Dawson. The backups for Marcel are Dawson and Megan Anderson. Underdog of the night for me is Brendan Allen. Underdog of the night for Marcel is Sean Brady. Lock of the night, we're both going Felicia Spencer. Big Marcel, UFC Norfolk. Any last thoughts, feedback? Where are you watching this thing? At home?
Yeah, probably at home.
No family party this week?
No.
Who were your visitors earlier, by the way?
Just a friend, man.
Oh, you just had a friend over?
Yeah.
Playing some video games? Sneaking away some of the parents' alcohol?
What the
hell? Just kidding. All right. Well, Big Marcel, where can the people find and follow all your great content?
You can find and follow the content at MMADNA.nl, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, or Big Marcel24 on Twitter and Instagram.
Notice I did not say where can the people find you, so then you can have the same repetitive joke over again of Maastricht, Netherlands. I'm on Twitter at Trademark MMA. Shout out to the rest of our team at the Loudmouth MMA Podcast Network. Please click subscribe and follow for all the great shows and content. We will be back next week to break down UFC 248. And, man, Big Marcel, I'm so disappointed that we don't have an opponent for Jared Cannonier. I know he's a backup for the main event, but seriously, man, seriously.
No. Yeah, I agree. What can I say?
Thanks again, everyone, for tuning in, and we will be back.
You're welcome.